Don't knock on an open door. I wish someone had said that to me years ago. Years ago. Because for a long period of time, I was seeking answers, trying to find success, going through all type of self-discovery processes, putting a lot of time and energy searching to discover myself, looking for ways in which I could be able to provide for my family, be able to take care of my mother, be able to do something that was me. Listen to me. Do something that was me, something that I loved, something that gave my life a sense of significance, something that I would enjoy doing 7 days a week, something that I love so much that I would do it for nothing. But because I love it so much, I would always want to do my best at it because it's something that I do. It's who I am, and I just want to be awesome at it. You have something like that? My cousin Boo, who made his transition, he loved to cook, so he cooked. He cooked, and boy, when he cooked, when Boo cooked, angels stopped flapping their wings. And I said, uh-oh, Boo's in the kitchen. Y'all stop that, Gabriel. Y'all need to hush back there. Boo cooked it, don't interrupt now. Boy, Boo can cook. Oh my goodness, I miss him so much. And stop knocking on an open door. All my life, when I look back, because I did not recognize and use my gift in a different way. I didn't value it. And you know why I didn't value it? Because I didn't believe in it. I did not believe in it. And as a result, I did not use it. I did not use it to serve at a higher level, to make a greater impact. And because I did not use that which was me, I paid a price. I ended up doing things that it was not me. Working on jobs, it was not me, and I knew it. I just go in there to make some money. We were born to do a special work. You were born to do a special work. You are here for a reason, to do the greater work. Not just work for a living, but to make a difference with your life. And it just got me just reflecting, Mr. Leroy Washington, who had an impact on my life, and I got a call that Patsy, his oldest daughter, passed. I remember Patsy, wonderful, wonderful young lady. And I just thought about the fact that we all have an expiration date. All of us are going to leave here. Nobody has figured out how to get out of here alive. And so, stop knocking on an open door, Athea Grant said to me. And I'm about to do an event with her in the UK virtually. Let us be clear. I spoke in Hong Kong last night, and China, and several other countries with Kim Wee virtually. It was fascinating. All the tools we need in order to become successful. In fact, I should be able today, I might get a recording of the last time I was there, and I will share that with you. It was quite an incredible, magnificent experience. But here's what is very important, is to take the time. and ask, what is it that I love most? And what is it that people compliment me on that I might have dismissed, that I might have not thought was no big deal to me because it came so naturally, it came so easily? That is my gift, that's my superpower, but I dismissed it. What is that? What does that look like? For years, I did not recognize that my ability to communicate, to reach people, to make people feel good, to inspire them, to uplift them, to give advice, to make them laugh, to motivate them, I didn't think that was no big deal. I just did that, like sleeping, making people laugh, selling wolf tickets while shooting pool, playing chess, playing bid whist, playing cards. No big deal. I didn't recognize that, I didn't value it. I'm saying to you, live your life being present to who you are and what your superpower is, and we have all the tools that we need to monetize it, to make it work for us. And I'm saying, don't be a volunteer victim. You've got something. You came here with something. You were chosen. God don't choose people who don't have anything going for them. There's something you have going for them. You just haven't discovered it yet. Just like me, I had a lot going for me, and for a period of time I went unemployed. For a period of time, I went from being fired from one job to the other, as opposed to hiring myself, because I didn't know what I had going for me. I didn't know. And so because I didn't know, I didn't take the time to discover that. I didn't invest any time, any money, any energy, any effort to cultivate that. I didn't ask those questions. Why are you here? What are you supposed to do? How do you take that which you say that you want to do and find a way to monetize it? See, that whole thing about, Adam, where are you? Where are you? Life is a question, and how we answer the question is the answer. Where are you, Les, in relationship to who you know you should be and what you should be doing? And what are you going to do about it? I talked about Tennessee Williams, who said there comes a point in your life when you look in the mirror and who's looking back at you realizes that's all you're ever going to be. Wow, what a blow, what a punch in the gut. So fortunately, I didn't settle. There was something that was restless in me, something that said, there's got to be more. Have you ever asked yourself that? There's got to be more than this. There's got to be. And I kept seeking, I kept working at it and working on the possibility of how I can reshape and redesign my life. Because the one that I was living wasn't me. And he had to go. That's why Paul said, I must die daily. That all of us know there are moments in our lives that there are parts of us, that character's got to get out of here. That does not work for me. It might work for somebody else, but that does not work for me. But for a period of time, I did not use my gift until, and don't let it take you this long, I mean, my real gift. I was 37. That's a delay. My real gift. I was able to become a disc jockey, and that was good. I enjoyed that. I love that. I can be a disc jockey now. And I enjoyed being a state legislator. But speaking and motivating people, my real gift, my superpower that I used last night when they brought me on the Zoom before an audience of thousands of people, that That's the voice. That's the one. That's the Les Brown. That's his power voice. Why? Because I'm in my power. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I came here to motivate. I came here to inspire. I came here to uplift spirits. I came here to give people a larger vision of themselves. You came here to do something. You came here to make a difference. You came here to live an impactful life. You came here to leave the world in better shape than how you found it. Yes. You came here to allow people to know that what they have experienced, the abuse that they've gone through, does not have to define them. You came here as a guide, as a light, to help people use the steps and the process and the mindset that you had to navigate and bring themselves out of the valley. Yeah, you came here for something. Yeah, because you decided that what you went through would not define you. You decided that.
I want you to look at something right now. Think of some major goal you want, or maybe it's one you're already working on and you have experienced a lot of setbacks, a lot of defeats. You've experienced a lot of disappointment. Maybe you've already given up. And maybe you just need a little fire, a little encouragement to get back in the game again. Here's what I want you to look at. There are winners, there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. And all they need is some coaching. All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy, a plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them, that will give them access to the unlimited power that they have within themselves. That's all that they need. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power. And I don't even want you to say, I can do that. I don't want you to assume that. See, 5 years ago when I started out in this area, I would not have been able to make the mental leap that I would be up to where I am right now. I don't want you to begin to just psych yourself out. No. I want you to be able to say something to yourself that will enable you to maintain a level of integrity with yourself. That when you say this, even when you face tremendous setbacks, it will be a benchmark to keep you in the game, to keep you moving forward and experimenting and readjusting your strategy and your plan of action, continuously looking for ways to win. So what is that something? When you got an idea you want to move on, you might not have the money, you might not have the education, you might not have the support or the resources you need. What is that something that can keep us going, that will enable us to act on our dream? What's one of those keys that will begin to help us to discover the secrets to our dream? Here's what I want you to repeat after me, please, with power and conviction. Say, it's possible. It's possible. That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible. Just say that every day to yourself, it's possible. Because what does that do? See, it begins to change your belief system. See, the way in which we operate, ladies and gentlemen, it's a manifestation of what we believe, what's possible for us. Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life. Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they have done, things they've experienced, things they've seen, things that they have observed. What I'm suggesting that you operate out of a larger vision of yourself. I want you to see yourself doing what you want to do, experiencing what you want to experience, having what you want to have, doing what it is that gives your life some meaning and value. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory. Because whatever you look at where you want to go, I'm wanting to warn you, you will have some conversation back here after you go through the data that you've experienced in life saying you can't do it. And so what you want to begin to do is ignore that inner conversation. Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different. Example, before April 1954, the common belief, the universal belief, because it had been tried again and again and again and people had failed, the belief was that man was not physically capable of breaking the 4-minute barrier, that he could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes. That was the belief on the planet. It had never been done. But here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Bannister came along, and he broke the 4-minute barrier. Now here's what's significant about that. Since that time, up to this day, over 20,000 people have done it, including high school kids. What changed? 20,000 people, what changed? Here's what happened when they got on the track. They knew it had been done. And because they knew it had been done, there was a new belief about this barrier, about this goal that was unreachable. And those 20,000 people got in the race believing, knowing in their heart that someone had done it, that it's possible, that they could do it. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible. And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, beginning to embrace that, it's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe, that I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, the things can get better for me. It's possible. I'm thinking about two men right here in Chicago who were fairly successful, similar background, educated. They worked for a corporation for many years, and they were among many people that were laid off. Two guys who were very good friends. One went out looking for a job for several weeks along with the other one, and they faced disappointment and rejection again and again and again. They couldn't find any work, which is the story of many people across this country. One guy stopped. He became discouraged. He stopped going. He stayed home looking at television, became very argumentative and toxic with his wife, drinking beer, getting on the phone, talking to his other negative, unemployed friends. And he just gave up. The other guy kept looking for a job everywhere he could go. Every time he could get an opportunity, kept asking people, networking, checking the newspapers every day, kept going everywhere he could, trying to find a job. You have too much education. You're overqualified. You won't be here long enough. He kept going. He kept going. He went to a place and said, look here, I tell you what, if you can't hire me, and I know you can use my talents, abilities, and skills, I don't want to sit home and do nothing. Just let me do some volunteer work. You don't have to give me anything, all right? I just want to work. I want to be busy. Guy said, okay, it's on you now, but don't expect me to give you anything. It's okay. This guy came in and worked. He was the first one there. The last one to leave was the best employee there. About 4 weeks later, one of the top managers quit. They were looking for a replacement. Guess who they selected? This other guy. This guy who was volunteering his time. He got the job. What was the difference between the two men? Eyesight and mindsight. Eyesight is judging on what you see, judging according to appearances. But mindsight is how you interpret what you see. One guy said, it's not possible, it's over, I'm finished. I can't do it. I can't make it. He surrendered. I've faced rejection again and again. I'm not going anymore. There are no jobs out there. But this other guy, he felt that in spite of the no's and rejections, in spite of how bad the economy is, in spite of what the newspapers are saying, that it's possible that somebody somewhere will give me a job. He just kept going, thinking it was possible. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we have to do with our dreams. Because things happen to you in life that you can never, ever anticipate. And many times when those things happen, you want to give up. I remember when I was in broadcasting, when I was a disc jockey, I became very controversial, not only being a disc jockey, but I felt that radio was something that you not only entertain people with, but you also empower them, you educate them. And I got fired. I didn't just leave, they fired me. That was a shock. I said, wait a minute. They took my microphone. I thought that was who I was. No, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't. I had to do something else. And I didn't know what else I could do. See, here's what I'm looking at. What are the uses for your life right now that you haven't even reached for yet? See, I believe that when you don't have enough encouragement to act on your dreams or ideas, or you're not enlightened enough, that life will act on you. See, life had moved on me and said, Les Brown, you have outgrown this. It's time for you to do something else. Well, I wasn't enlightened enough. I organized some disc jockeys and got my job back. So they had to fire me again. I got fired twice. Here's what I did. I had to think of something else. And so a guy suggested to me, he said, Les, why don't you run for office? I said, man, I never run for office. I've never known anything about how to operate in the political arena. I've heard encourage people to register to vote and get out to vote, but I don't know anything about politics. He said, neither do the people who run for office all the time. So I ran. Now here's what I'm suggesting. I ran. You got to do what you can where you are with what you have. I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything about the political process. I didn't even have any support. But here's what the guy told me. It's possible you could win. That's all I had. I was running against an endorsed candidate. He was an incumbent. He had the newspaper support, all of the leadership in the community, and I was challenging this guy. So I had a saying when I was on radio, stand up for what you believe in because you can fall for anything. And I would go door to door. I have my kids on one side of the street. I would be on the other, and I'd knock on doors. Hello, my name is Les Brown. Tell everybody I'm still standing. They get on the phone. Child, Les Brown was to my house today. You know the boy on the radio with the big mouth? Yeah, they fired him, honey. Say he's still standing. See, I'm saying just keep moving. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't spend time blaming and talking about what happened to you. See, whatever you talk about, that's what you multiply and expand in your life experience. So don't talk about stuff unless you want it to keep on happening to you, all right? So I got in that kind of action. As I continue to do that, had my children with me, were going door to door, didn't have enough money. Eventually, we got close to the election and something happened that really surprised me. Guys who I thought were going to either support me or stay out of it, various powerful community leaders, they became involved in it and they endorsed my opponent. I felt devastated. Now that's going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. Things are going to happen that's going to catch you on the blind side. That was shocking to me. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was just stay out of it. But here they go, come up in there messing with me. Now that's going to happen. There's some people who believe it's their personal business to stop you from living your dream, all right? But I didn't deal with that. You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. And so I was driving to the radio station. My opponent had over $20,000. I had less than $800. As I was in the radio station, the guy said, "You're going to make a commercial?" I said, "Yes." He said, "It better be a good one because that money can't go pretty far here." And I sat there in the middle control room and I was thinking, and here's what happens when you get still. Stuff will start coming. Something said, "Call your mama." You used to talk about your mother on the air all the time. Ask her to say a few words for you. That'll be a different kind of political spot. So I called my mama, and I had a gospel record playing in the background. And then I had my mother say, "Hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my sons, I raised them to be good children. When they got out of hand, I beat their behind and made them go right. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy." Usually in the state representative race, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people will come out to vote in a primary. In that primary race, over 27,000 people came out and voted and said, "I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy." I won, ladies and gentlemen. I won. So you've got to be willing to stay focused, to be creative, to be relentless, because things are going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. When you get on track. I remember when I first got involved in speaking, one of the main things that speakers like to do is speak to a certain association that they have over 10,000 of their sales reps that come to this convention. And I was relentless. I kept saying, "It's possible. It's possible." See, what I want to let you know and set you up for, because you said it's possible, don't mean that you're not going to have any problems. That Murphy's Law ain't going to come and slap you side the head. Old Murphy gonna come visit you. He's waiting for some of y'all out in the parking lot. "Oh, you say it's possible. Okay, it's possible. You better get it up." Well, I was working. I kept saying, "It's possible." They got other speakers on this program. I can be on that program too. I kept selling myself. I got all fired up. And I was calling them every day, every day. And the lady finally said, "Mr. Brown, I tell you what, we want you to come in and talk to our sales executives. You got the kind of fire and guts that they want that will motivate them. And let me tell you something else. We want you to bring your motivational tapes. You're going to need at least $50,000 worth of tapes." I said, "Is that right?" "Yes, because they want to keep that drive alive." I said, "All right." I called the guy to duplicate my tapes. I said, "Don, how you doing? This is Les. Let me tell you, I got a major speaking engagement." I said, "Man, it's a speaker's dream. I need over $50,000 worth of product." He said, "Les, you don't have that kind of credit." I said, "I know, but Don, I can sell that. Just right after speaking engagement, I'll give you your money in 4 days." He said, "Are you sure, Les?" I said, "Yes, but I got a major speaking engagement and they told me to do it." He said, "Man, that's a big order. Let me talk with the lady with you." I said, "Hold on just a minute, man." Call the lady back. "Hello, Evelyn, how you doing? This is Les Brown. I got Don on the phone. What did you say? Do I have the speaking engagement?" "Yes, you do. And what else you suggest?" "Les, our people, they buy a lot of tapes. Your tapes are very popular among them. I'm saying bring at least $50,000 worth of tapes, Les. You'll sell everything you got and more." I said, "Did you hear that, Don?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Now, if anybody else has to make a decision, are you the final person?" She said, "I'm the final person. I will send you the contract. I want you." I said, "Did you hear that, Don?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, ye of little faith." I said, "Duplicate the tapes, man. Hung the phone up." Well, he duplicated the tapes. 1 week came by. I'm checking the mail every day. No contract. I said, "Come on, Murphy, don't start nothing, man. Come on. Come on, man, give me a break. Come on, you know, this ain't fair. Come on, man. Give me a break, come on." I talked to myself, you know. I didn't want to call him right then. 2 weeks passed by. Murphy said, "Don't you think you ought to call him?" I said, "Okay." I called, I said, "Hello, this is Les Brown calling. How you doing, Les?" I said, "Fine." I said, "Evelyn hasn't sent my contract out yet. Any additional information you need?" "So, Les, you haven't heard?" I said, "No." I said, "Evelyn died." I said, "She died?" I said, Did she say anything about me? When I got home, I was so wiped out. And Murphy was in the house waiting on me. Murphy said, "Is it possible you want to listen to some of your tapes?" But ladies and gentlemen, here's what I had to do. I had to begin to focus on what was the solution. That this was not the only place that I'll be able to sell those products. And as I began to challenge myself and got some help and support and some other input, I eventually did. It took longer, but it was challenging. But I did it. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, "You got that right." Repeat after me, please. It's possible. It's possible. I can have my dream. I can get what I want. I must be creative. And never give up.
Speak extemporaneously during the time that I responded. I want you to like this page and share it. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. Like this page and share it. Here's one. Are you waiting on the illusion of perfection before you go live with your life? See, a lot of people, they procrastinate. Well, I'm not good enough yet. You're not good enough yet. Are you waiting on the illusion of perfection before you go live with your life? Are you aware of the fact that you will fail your way to success? Are you aware of the fact that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great? Are you willing to let something die in you today that you should be going live with tomorrow, waiting on the illusion of perfection? I was one. Let me go to the other one. I just love this. Okay. Here we are. Are you allowing the fear of tomorrow rob you of the joy of today? This is by Steve. Are you allowing the fear of tomorrow rob you of the joy of today? You know, a lot of people, they have a fear-driven life. And when you have a fear-driven life, that it's been said that most of the fears we have, 95% of them never happen. That the fears that most of us conjure up in our minds and waste a lot of energy over, gain weight over, digging early graves with our teeth, turning our hair gray, or losing weight, never happen. And we allow those fears that we have of what might happen to rob us of the joys of today. No, today is all you have. Life has no duplicate. Enjoy what you have where you are right now. Do what you can where you are with what you have right now, and God will do what you can. He wants us to be joyful. And there's a difference between being joyful and being happy. Being happy, that's dependent upon circumstance. But joy, come on now. Joy passeth all human understanding. What do you mean by that? Because people wonder, how can you be joyful given what's happening to you or given what you've gone through? How can you be joyful given what life has done to you or given your situation? We visited people in the hospital, one in one bed, same condition, just as joyful. Another person, oh, I don't know. The Lord is able. I'm just trying to make it, honey. One foot on the banana peeling and the other one in the graveyard. No, don't allow anything that you worry about rob you of your joy of today, especially if it involves somebody else. Wherever they find themselves, at some point in time, they made an appointment to be there. You control you. You live your life. Stop trying to play God. You can't control nobody. I don't care how much you love them. You can't control their choices and what direction they decide to take their lives in. Oh, that sounds hard. I know. You know what this is? The world's smallest violin playing the world's saddest song. Be joyful. So they were just throwing different quotes, and then they would take their tag and tag it and do their piece with it, or they'll take a part of their story and they'll do their take on their story. And then I'll ask, can I take a swing at that, please? And they said, sure. And when I finish, they say, you know what? You told my story better than I told my story. We have a wonderful community of people who love to change lives. If that's you, if you have a story, you want to learn how to tell it, get it out, make more money with it, increase your cash flow, be a voice of influence, and develop a national and global reputation with your story like I have, I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. Go there now. Go there to hungrytospeak.com and become a part of our community. And that's really, really, to me, the most important part, because when I started out, all I had was Mike Williams, my mentor. Mike Williams, who wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. And he was coaching me. But when you in a community of people, and trust me on this, right now, more than ever, it's very important to be in a community of like-minded, positive people who lift your spirit, iron sharpening iron, people who bring value to you, people where you can develop strategic partnerships, people that you can work together, people that are motivated and driven and have a focus of what they want to do with their lives. This is a time, and this is a quote that deals with this. Preparation. Prepare yourself to be positioned so that your life will be in a good place when whatever happens comes your way. The question is, are you willing to be patient with the preparation? See, a lot of people want success right now. They want mastery right now. They want to be great right now. No, it ain't that kind of party. Mastery takes time. It takes time. And it takes coaching, and it takes practice, and it takes being around other people in a group that you feed off each other and give each other strength and hold each other accountable. And magic happens when you do that.
You want to start us off?
Absolutely.
All right.
I want you to think about your goals and dreams. What is it you want to do with your life, particularly now? Because what we know is life is fragile. I was planning not to come out till 2027. And then somebody whispered in my ear, called life. Who said you gonna be here in 2027? I know you want to be. Did you remember Michael Jackson? They spent millions of dollars saying this is it.
That was it.
But it was not the it they had in mind. Only put off for tomorrow the things that you don't mind dying in you today. And I said, I got to come out. I've been in so long. I've been talking to squirrels. Even have a squirrel friend who's taught me squirreling. Which said right then in squirreling, I'm so glad to be here and talk to you about focusing. Because in order to make it now, with all the distractions that's going on, that you have to focus. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. A lot of people are focused on entertainment. A lot of people are checked out. A lot of people are snapping, having meltdowns in traffic, road rage, in grocery stores, arguing about toilet paper, family members arguing in the bedroom about their relationship, waking up in the morning and said, you know what? I don't want to do life with you anymore. I feel lonely whenever you are around. I'm out of here. And so as we look at ourselves, look at our goals and dreams, one of the most important things we have to do is focus on what gives you a sense of peace. I've been ending relationships that don't bring value to me and that are not peaceful. See, I've come to know that you don't have to help life bring drama. Life will traumatize you by itself. You don't have to augment and complement the process. But there are people who have a propensity for drama, and any little thing can take them and tilt the needle in that direction. No, this is the time you want to focus on peace. If you don't have a peaceful state of mind, if you don't pour into yourself, a person that don't have a sense of peace, they're subject to snap at any time. That's why we're seeing unexplained violence. We see people that's making dumb, stupid decisions that cause them to throw their lives away because of the decisions they make. When anger goes up, ignorance increases and intelligent thinking goes down. And so this is a time that you want to focus on peace, and then you want to focus on this question: am I on course? Is this the best way for me to live my life right now? And you want to focus on your relationships and ask the question: what is this relationship doing to me? Is it an asset or a liability? Is it bringing out the best of me? Is it holding me accountable? Is it creating the next greatest version of myself? Do I feel good when this person is around me? I have a friend that I was telling her, I said, tell me how you feel when your husband comes near you. And she called me, she said, I feel threatened and uncomfortable. I said, you need to get out of there. I said, that's unhealthy. She'd been having a cervical cancer surgery for several years. After she left him, she didn't have any more. There are people who can make you sick. You know, you say, you make me sick? That's real. There's a book I read called Who's the Matter with Me? So you want to focus on the relationships. You want to focus on the environment, because environment, it can determine how you feel about yourself and how you see the world. So I'm saying to you, at this point in time, focus on that which is positive, that can give you a sense of optimism. Focus on the relationships that can empower you, that can hold you accountable. Focus on your strength, so that in the events that are going on right now, so you can turn those adversities into your creativity and your advantage. You have greatness in you, and you have to be hungry for greatness. It doesn't happen automatically. You have to work hard. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You have the power, authority, and dominion on living life on your terms.
Les, I want to know, before that time when someone came and believed in you, was this still your natural state? Would you still make jokes? Were you still laughing a lot? Or were you a different person then?
I was still laughing a lot. My personality is very much like my adopted mother. I just discovered, as you know, my birth mother. And I always say that my adopted mother and my birth mother, the difference was my birth mother gave me life. My adopted mother taught me how to live life. She had a tremendous sense of humor. And life was very challenging. We were poor, but we did not know it, because we lived life through her eyes and through her vision of creating a life for us that indicated that we had the possibilities to overcome whatever was in our path. And so she always found something funny to laugh about. I remember a Mother's Day, I called my mother, my adopted mother, and she used to curse all the time. That was just who she was. And I said on Mother's Day, Mama, happy Mother's Day to you. And she said, thank you. And she lived in Miami, Florida at that time. I was in Columbus, Ohio. I said, how are you doing today? And she said, Leslie, I'm sweating like a hoe in church. I said, Mama, I said, I'm on the air. She said, hell, well, when they're in church and the preacher's preaching, they are sweating. I said, Mama, don't explain it. And during this time, you couldn't delete what people said, and she wanted to go on and explain it. I said, Mama, you don't have to explain it for me. But that was my mother. And so she had a sense of humor. But she also taught me how to tell stories while my brothers and sisters had fun outside playing with each other. My adoptive mother had ankles swollen from arthritis, and I would massage her ankles and her feet. I developed a foot fetish because of that, but that's another conversation. And so while I would massage her feet, she would tell me stories. And I said, Mama, tell me that story again about when you would go down and feed an alligator chickens. And she said, Leslie, I've told you that story so many times. But the reason I had her to tell me stories over and over again, she told them the same way with the same excitement and sense of adventure. And I loved that, had no idea. You know, Candace, we live life going forward, but we understand it looking backwards. And she, by telling me these stories and how I listened, cultivated the ability in me to tell stories, and not just tell them, but to experience them as she did when she told them. And I train speakers, as you know, and I teach them not just to present the story, but to experience the story. And I came into this industry, people just giving information from the book Think and Grow Rich. Information, if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. They wouldn't need speakers, they could just Google the information. Information only impacts 2 areas of the brain. But when you tell a story, like I tell the story about wanting to take care of my mother and buy her a home, which I accomplished, stories, it impacts 5 areas of the brain. Stories expand your vision because you go into your imagination, and it touches the heart, and we're emotional people, and it ignites a spirit to make a decision to take your life in a different direction. We make decisions, and our decisions make us. And so when I look at who I am now and where I am, I always quote Abraham Lincoln. He said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And that's why I always say, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. But now that I've discovered my birth mother, Dorothy Rucker, I said, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Rucker's pride and joy. Oh, behave, hello.
Wow, Liz, you know, you emphasize storytelling, and you've got such a poeticism about, you know, your stories, how you tell a story, and how on the spot you can do that. That kind of lyricism that you have, when did you start learning it? I know you said your mom taught you, but when you started incorporating it into your work, how did it start working in your mind?
What I came to realize, particularly when I saw the shift taking place in the motivational industry, where people wanted to speak to sell, and that didn't fit well with me. I'm who I am because someone looked at me when I was struggling to believe in myself, Mr. Leroy Washington, and he knew that I was called DT, the dumb twin, and he told me, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And he taught me 3 things because I've never known my biological father. He said, and he did not know I adopted him as my spiritual father. 3 things that's very important. There's 7, but 3 that you really need to horn in on. And I said, what are they? He said, number 1, develop your mind. He said, people don't live life as it is. They live life as they are. That grabbed me. Elsie Robinson said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. The second thing that he said, develop a thirst to learn. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. We are in a new place where our lives have been disrupted by a global pandemic. And so disruptions require transformation. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. So now we have to develop and upgrade our skill set, a new set of skills to help us to navigate where we are. And that transformation is an ongoing process. The other thing that he taught me was that practice OQP. And what he was saying was create a community of people that's going in the direction of where you're going, people that you can learn from, people that will challenge you to grow, that will hold you accountable, have praise and progress reports, build communities of collaborative, achievement-driven, supported relationships with people that will challenge you to reach deep within yourself and to take you in a place in yourself that you can't go by yourself. People rub off on you. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. My mother said, Leslie, if you run around with 9 broke people, I guarantee you, you'll become number 10. So always look for ways in which you can upgrade your relationships, that you can learn from the people that's around you, the people that's in your ear, people that's going in the direction of where you're going, people that have goals and dreams. The Academy Award winner, Sidney Poitier, who passed last year, he said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? And so I come to understand and to know that life is like an elevator. The higher you go up, the more often you have to stop and let some people off because they stop growing. They stop pushing themselves and challenging themselves. And you want people that will bring out the best in you. You want people that would push you and stretch you and challenge you to reach higher. And so that's how I live my life, being around people that I'm learning from. Dennis Kimball out of Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. Those 3 things, your mindset, your willingness to learn, and the community of people that will push you to another level.